When Ray Bradbury published Fahrenheit 451 in 1953, the world was recovering from war, confronting censorship, and embracing new technologies like television. It was the height of the Cold War and the beginning of the consumer age, a moment when people were being told not to ask questions, but to conform and consume. In Bradbury's dystopia, books are banned, thinking is dangerous, and firemen start fires to burn books and destroy knowledge. But it's not just the censorship that's terrifying, it's the fact that people don't care. They're too busy watching giant screens, listening to wireless earbuds, and numbing themselves with constant entertainment. Fast forward to today, and many of the science fiction ideas in Fahrenheit 451 have become part of our everyday lives. Earbuds and immersive entertainment, algorithm-driven media bubbles, distracted screen-obsessed societies, censorship disguised as comfort, artificial intelligence and robotic law enforcement. In this video, we'll explore the science fiction elements of Fahrenheit 451 that have since become science fact. Whether you're a Bradbury fan or new to the novel, this breakdown will show you just how prophetic and urgent his warnings really were. Earbuds and constant audio streaming. In Bradbury's imagined world, people walk around with tiny radios in their ears called seashells that play music, ads and voices non-stop. Characters like Mildred, Montag's wife, are so plugged in that they tune out reality, even their loved ones. Today, we call these seashells by another name, earbuds or AirPods. Wireless earbuds are now common, with people often using them throughout the day for music, podcasts, calls, even while sleeping. The experience Bradbury described in 1953 matches perfectly with how we interact with our audio content today, often to avoid silence or avoid thinking. Bradbury was commenting on the danger of disconnection through connection, where technology keeps us so busy and overstimulated that we forget how to be present, to reflect, or to connect emotionally with each other. His vision was eerily accurate, and it continues to evolve with AI-generated audio companions, language immersive learning tools, and real-time translation earbuds on the rise. Wall-sized TVs and immersive entertainment. Mildred spends most of her life in her parlour, a room with giant interactive screens covering the walls. These families talk to her, entertain her, and fill her every moment. She even calls the characters her real family. In 1953, TV was new and small. Today, we have wall-mounted 4K televisions, home theatre systems, curved screens, and VR headsets. People now stream 24/7 on Netflix, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, often binge-watching for hours. Interactive shows where viewers can influence the outcome are becoming more common. The parlour walls aren't just about size, they're about immersion. Bradbury predicted a future where entertainment wouldn't just be on screen, it would replace real human interaction. Does that sound familiar? We already see kids and adults alike spending more time with fictional characters than their own friends or families. The line between real and virtual connection is blurring. Bradbury wasn't against technology, but he warned what would happen if it replaced rather than enhanced our lives. Robotic law enforcement and surveillance. The mechanical hound in Fahrenheit 451 is a robotic enforcer programmed to track down, paralyze, and kill people who resist the government's control. It's a terrifying mix of biotech and AI, unfeeling, relentless, and precise. We're not being hunted by mechanical dogs yet, but we're getting close. Boston Dynamics has created robotic dogs that can navigate complex environments, respond to commands, and even patrol areas. AI-driven surveillance and facial recognition can now identify people in crowds, track movements, and flag suspicious behaviour. Police in several countries already use drones, robotic vehicles, and predictive policing algorithms. The mechanical hound symbolises a world where law enforcement is automated, depersonalised, and unaccountable. In today's world, AI and robotics are being integrated into military, policing, and surveillance systems, raising major concerns about privacy, discrimination, and ethics. Just as a hound could be programmed to kill dissenters, modern technologies raise the same fear. What happens when tech is used not for justice, but for control? Bradbury's robotic enforcer wasn't just science fiction, it was a metaphor for a system that no longer needs human judgment. And that metaphor is inching towards literal truth. Book burning and intellectual censorship. In Bradbury's future, books are illegal. Firemen don't put out fires, they start them, burning books and arresting anyone who dares to think for themselves. It's a society that fears complexity, nuance, and dangerous ideas. You don't have to burn books to destroy a culture, just get people to stop reading them. While literal book burning is rare today, censorship and content suppression are very real and growing. Books are being banned from schools and libraries around the world due to political or social objections. Social media platforms and search engines filter, block, or promote content based on complex algorithms, often without transparency. Cancel culture, trigger warnings, and misinformation laws raise questions about where free expression ends and control begins. Bradbury was warning about intellectual laziness, a society that stops asking questions because it's easier not to. Today, our world is flooded with information, but filtered by machines, corporations, and popularity metrics. We don't burn books, but we drown truth in noise, delete unpopular views, and promote only what's profitable. That's why Fahrenheit 451 is still taught in schools. It reminds us that ideas are fragile, and once we stop defending them, they can disappear. Emotional numbness and pharmaceutical escapism. In Fahrenheit 451, people are emotionally detached. Bradbury paints a world of emotional apathy, where technology numbs and drugs suppress. People feel nothing, care for nothing, and distract themselves endlessly. Mental health crises, especially depression and anxiety, are skyrocketing globally. Antidepressant and anti-anxiety medications are widely prescribed. Many people cope through screen addiction, alcohol, substances, or shopping, modern versions of Mildred's distractions. The emotional numbness Bradbury imagined is mirrored today in rising rates of mental health issues, digital burnout, and emotional avoidance. Bradbury wasn't condemning medication, but warning about a culture that prefers comfort over confrontation and numbness over truth. He saw a world where small talk replaced substance and emotions were seen as flaws. Does that sound familiar? Anti-intellectualism and the fear of complexity. In Bradbury's dystopia, the world didn't start burning books all at once. It happened gradually because people wanted it. Books made them feel confused, offended, or inadequate, so they chose comfort over complexity. Today's digital world promotes simplicity, clickbait, and instant gratification. Nuanced ideas often get flattened into 280-character tweets or 15-second videos. Algorithms prioritize viral content, not thoughtful content. Bradbury warned of a world where depth dies, and today intellectuals, experts, and complex thinkers are often drowned out by influencers, memes, or conspiracy theories. We live in an age where many avoid hard questions and reject uncomfortable truths, just like Bradbury imagined. Conclusion: what Fahrenheit 451 still teaches us today. Bradbury didn't write Fahrenheit 451 to predict the future. He wrote it to prevent it. But now, 70 years later, many of his wildest ideas have become part of our everyday lives. Tiny earbuds feeding us content 24/7, wall-sized TVs and immersive virtual realities, emotional numbness through entertainment or pills, surveillance, AI enforcement and social control, censorship through algorithms and market pressure, the slow death of curiosity, complexity, and critical thinking. Bradbury wasn't just warning us about burning books. He was warning us about burning our minds, our time, and our connections. Fahrenheit 451 is still relevant today because it reminds us to think independently, feel deeply, question authority, protect free speech, and most of all, to read. Because once we stop thinking, once we stop caring, and once we stop defending ideas, the firemen don't need to burn the books. We'll stop reading them ourselves. You don't have to burn books to destroy a culture. Just get people to stop reading them.